Hey guys, welcome to our brand new YouTube channel. After contemplating doing it for such a long time, here I am finally doing it, where you get to look into my life with all my pets and my assistant's dog, Bumblebee. So here I am getting Bumblebee ready to go out the door with me. This vlog is just gonna kind of show you what we did this week and not too much else. I'm gonna try and upload vlogs every week if I can. If not, I'll try and let you know. We do dog sports, we do dog showing. We have a dog show in December, so you will get to see Bumblebee in the show ring. We just finished dock diving, so we probably won't be dabbling into any sports right now, but you will be getting to see the dog show. Here I am walking out the door with Bumblebee. I'm gonna do my best to have audio-video descriptions in my videos as well to make it accessible for everyone. So we started the week off with renewing my driver's license. I'm excited about that because we'll be able to finally go out to places that we usually couldn't walk to. Here's Bumblebee laying underneath my seat in a settle in an office full of people while we wait for our name to be called. So I'm very excited for us to finally be getting out by ourselves, which is usually something I've struggled with because of my medical issues. But with Bumblebee by my side, doing his medical alerts, I feel very confident. Next, we got car insurance before we went to go shopping around Walmart. Here's Bumblebee laying in a downstay while we talk to the person at the insurance place. Here's Bumblebee keeping his downstay as people walk by him. We were already in Walmart, we were just getting car insurance, and then we went shopping. Here we are walking through Walmart. Bumblebee is in a heel next to me while I push a shopping cart. There weren't many people in the store at that time. Bumblebee gets distracted a little bit here. He turns his head as a guy passes us and comments on how fluffy Bumblebee's tail is. Bumblebee was a little distracted, but he didn't break his heel, thankfully. Being the very social butterfly that Bumblebee is, a happy little golden retriever, he can sometimes break his loose leash heel to go try and greet someone, especially if they're talking to us and especially if they have a high-pitched voice and they're a female. But it doesn't happen very often. He's usually very good. He's just super friendly and excited to see other people, which isn't a bad thing. Popping at a heel like that can be an issue though. I use an over-the-shoulder lead that's hands-free because my weak hands that drop items quite often, or I get overstimulated with too many things in my hands at once. Bumblebee can retrieve it off the floor for me, but I prefer this method. If he yanks me in a different direction to suddenly go meet someone, as a chronic pain sufferer, he can seriously hurt me or injure me. He'll be working in a harness soon, and if he does any of those actions while in harness and I'm using a handle, he can dislocate my shoulder and seriously injure me, so please don't distract. So here we are walking through Walmart. There's shelves on each side full of inventory. There's some people ahead of us in the aisles. Bumblebee's still walking next to me in the shopping cart, healing, while we walk to our next item to find. Here we are at the dish soap aisle. Bumblebee's standing in between me and the shelf. I grabbed some dish soap, I put it in the cart. Bumblebee looks at me for focus, and then we back up with the shopping cart. Bumblebee's backing up out of the aisle, and then we move on to our next aisle. So we're gonna head to the shoe aisle, and I'm gonna ask him to do some foundation work, target practice for when he's in a harness. I'm going to ask him to look for a seat. He looks around before turning down another aisle, boops a bench with his nose, turns to me to say he located a bench. Now we've moved on to carrying items. Bumblebee has a small orange bag in his mouth. It contains his water bottle, not too much weight in it, just a little bit for him to feel something. Now we're turning right and left. We're walking down the shoe aisle. Bumblebee's heeling next to me. We're walking past the bench he found earlier, and we're passing Walmart customers as we go. He's heeling quite nicely next to me. He's doing a great job. Now we're back to where we began, where my dad is trying on shoes. I ask Bumblebee to turn around, come back to heel position, and he'll take a seat. He looks up at me with sad eyes because he knows I'm taking the bag away. Now we've moved on to shopping cart and carrying items. Bumblebee is heeling next to me on my left as I push the shopping cart. He gets a little bit ahead of himself, but I correct him with my voice, and he comes back to heel position. He can sometimes get a little excited when carrying items, which is understandable, but he does quickly correct himself if I ask him to. We've returned to the area that we started at. I asked Bumblebee to come into heel after he leaves it a couple times. We take a couple steps, he comes back into heel again while I ask him. He's carrying the item still. We take a few steps towards the area we started in, and then I ask him to back up again. This is all just to make sure he's comfortable moving in certain ways while carrying an item. He does great. Now we're in the Halloween aisle. There's some spooky skeletons and ghost decorations. As we walk by, Bumblebee's heeling on the left of me. We walk by an aisle full of people. We look up at the shelf. There's some inflatable decorations, a cat, some ghosts, and a pumpkin. We keep on walking by the aisles. There's some masks next to us, and then we look up again to the inflatables. There's some Christmas inflatables, and Bumblebee looks up at me as we look at the sleigh with Santa riding it. It's moving around, and then next to that there's a bingo inflatable from Bluey, and we continue on. Going down the next aisle, past some princess dresses and other Halloween costumes, and then we circle to the right here, and Bumblebee sees some masks. He decides to sit with his back turned to them, showing me he's confident. Here I am grabbing a werewolf mask. It looks pretty realistic, like a dog. Bumblebee gives it a little sniff. He's pretty excited to see it and not lacking confidence at all. He's wagging his tail. He's pretty happy about it. He's taking a seat. He's sitting next to me as I put the mask down. He's looking at me, giving me lots of eye contact, and then we continue on. Here I found some sort of stuffed animal that dressed up as a ghost. It's licking a lollipop, singing a song about candy. Bumblebee's not too sure about it. He's standing in between me and the dancing item, and he's giving it a look and a sniff here. He's confident enough to be right in its face as it moves and dances. He wasn't too sure about it, but he's still confident. I ask him to follow me for a moment. We circle back to the item that's dancing and singing. He's still confident and giving me eye contact and checking in. We walk past it, and then we circle around again. Now I have him in a downstay while it dances. He keeps looking at it, but he keeps looking back at me for reassurance. He does great here. Now we're at the checkout, just scanning our items that we got for the baby shower I'm going to. There's Bumblebee lying next to the checkout, doing great. Here we are enjoying the outdoors. Bumblebee is running around in the forest with my German Shepherd Ezio. They're having fun, playing in the forest while it's raining. We usually love doing this, and it's not too far from our house. It's literally our backyard. We have so much fun doing this, and the dogs have such a great time. So much enrichment for them in this forest. Lots of things to sniff, lots of sticks to play with, and they just love zooming around through the ferns. So here are the boys. Ezio's grabbing a stick on the ground to my left. Bumblebee is checking out the trail to the right. He's just trotting through the forest here. Ezio's following him. The forest is green and lush with orange leaves on the ground and green ferns next to us. And lots of green, lovely moss. It's still raining out while we're walking around, but that's okay. I don't mind the rain, and neither do the dogs. Both dogs are having a great time running through the ferns. Bumblebee leaps over a little tree that fell on the trail here. I'm stepping over it. Bumblebee's ahead of me. Ezio comes and jumps over the little tree as well, and Bumblebee waits for us. Now we're continuing on down the trail. Bumblebee goes down the little hill, and Ezio follows him. Bumblebee found the little water down there. Ezio's joining him. Now the boys are running through the creek, having a great time splashing around. Here's Bumblebee playing in a little bit of creek water, blowing bubbles, jumping over a little bit of a log. Here's both boys jumping over the log at the same time, running around down the creek bed. And Ezio returns with a stick he's found. He goes over the log, and Bumblebee's still in the creek bed. He turns around to follow, he runs, and he jumps over the log. And now both boys are playing with a big stick. Ezio keeps breaking the stick, and then we continue on down the trail. Bumblebee and Ezio are having a fantastic time chasing each other through the forest, running through the bush. In a moment, I'm going to show a calmer clip with calmer music and show the beautiful lush green forest with rain pouring down on it and lovely trees in the background. Just a nice little clip to show you what we walked through. Now we're done our walk, so we walk back out to the street from the forest here. We live in a small town, so there's not too much action going on when it's raining. Both boys are beside me healing off leash. Ezio stays by my side on my left, and Bumblebee walks off a little bit ahead, sniffing the road. I tell him to heal. He stops, he comes back, and then he heals next to Ezio. Both are on my left side, panting away because they had a lot of exercise out in the bush. And now here's Bumblebee carrying his slip lead that I threw over his neck. And on our right, we have our neighbor's dogs losing it as we walk by, barking ferociously at the fence. But both boys are doing great. I tell them to ignore them, and we keep on walking to our house. That's literally 2 seconds right here. Now we're back inside the house. I get Bumblebee to do task work here. He takes off my socks off my swollen feet. He picks it up off the ground and hands it to me. Now he's taking off my left sock, and he picks it up off the ground and he hands it to me again. He loves this task. He has so much fun doing it. The next day was a rainy day, thankfully, so it deterred me from going outside a little bit, even though I don't mind the rain. I was a little overzealous and overdid it for my body yesterday after taking the dogs for a big walk and running errands. That was a little too much for my body. So here's the dogs enjoying their indoor enrichment with their snuffle mats full of kibble and beef liver. Ezio's having fun tearing it apart there, yay. I'll have to get him a new snuffle mat. Oh well. But I usually do some indoor training with the dogs as well, just to keep their minds going and not keep them bored throughout the day. I unfortunately was not feeling well enough to do that day because I was in a lot of pain, but they still were really good and had some fun. And here is my kitten, Ravage. She's not a kitten, she's actually 4 years old, but she's my cat. And she's very sweet. She's a little terror, and she loves to terrorize the dogs. She loves to play with them. It does look like they're fighting all the time, but it's play. She's very vocal while playing. She'll bark at them and she'll hiss at them, but she is definitely playing. She definitely antagonizes the dogs to chase her around. I'm not a cat person, but she definitely stole my heart. I usually try to give all my animals enrichment. I didn't have the energy to take Ravage out on a leash and harness, so I gave her a little bit of catnip here. She enjoyed eating it and rolling in it. She's not an indoor-outdoor cat, mainly because we live in a rural area and there's a lot of animals like wildlife, cougars, bears, and whatnot that could take her away, and I would hate that. So she enjoyed her little catnip here. I wasn't feeling well the next day either, so I just took the dogs out quickly and I didn't film it. So here's the next day after that, where my friend and I are driving into the next town over to go do some shopping for our dogs, of course. Here's some B-roll of the department store we were walking through. There's some clothing we're walking past, some kids items like toys and baby clothes. Bumblebee's healing next to me. Here's some B-roll of dog toys we were looking at, and Bumblebee sitting in front of me and between me and the shelf, wearing his vest. He's looking handsome as ever. Here we're just walking past some dog beds. Bumblebee's healing on my left. We get a comment about how pretty Bumblebee is. And we go down our next aisle here. On our right side, there are dog toys. And on the left side of the aisle, there's kids' toys. And here's more of the department store. There's furniture on our left, clothing on our right. We're just walking down the aisle towards the cashier. And Torian, my retired dog's owner, is walking on me on the left. Bumblebee's in between us both. He's still healing with me. As we continue on to the cashier, I'm filming some clothing as we continue on. We stopped at PetSmart quickly. I picked up some cookies and some poop bags as I was out. Bumblebee's sitting in the checkout aisle with me, waiting for Torian's mom to check out. Bumblebee is excited and waiting for his cookie from the cashier. He's very excited. Once we got back into our little town, we stopped at our local grocery store on our last stop here. Here I am turning to the left with Bumblebee healing on my left, grabbing a grocery cart here. Backing up, I accidentally backed up into someone. Bumblebee thankfully ignored them. And here we are going into the store with the grocery cart. Here we are with a view from the cart, me pushing it down the frozen aisle, Bumblebee still healing next to me. Our friend has stopped in front of us, so we stop. Bumblebee watches as they grab some ice cream. Now I'm testing Bumblebee's backup skills. Bumblebee's backing up as I back up with the shopping cart. We're going down the aisle. We've got the freezers in between me and Bumblebee. He did great. Pushing the cart further down the aisle, we grab the bag that my friend left on the floor here. Bumblebee didn't even pay attention to it. He didn't even sniff it once. So we continue on down further into the store. Here we are walking past the meats and the fish here. On our left in the coolers, Bumblebee is in between me and the coolers, healing on my left as I push the cart. Then we pause for a moment as we wait for another customer to figure out where they're going. And then I turn right down an aisle, and then we go find the item I am looking for. Here we are practicing a task Bumblebee has learned, which is retrieve items from bottom shelves. As I cannot usually retrieve an item from the bottom shelf, we have been practicing with chip bags so far. I've tried a box with him. It's a little more difficult, but he can do it. Here we are getting out of the way of a customer who stops and asks to pet him. I tell them no, and I say thank you for not petting. And I usually say that just as a nice courtesy because it's nice when people ask me instead of just going for it. Here's Bumblebee retrieving the second bag. He did a very good job. After shopping, I visited Torian, my retired assistance dog. He's a field-line golden retriever, and he lives with his housemate, this puppy right here, who's a black and white Alaskan Malamute. He's very vocal and very sweet. Both of them were super happy to see me. I retired Torian because he had an eye condition that was causing him to have reactivity within his work environment, and also he was off balance a couple times, which if he's off balance, I'm off balance, so it wasn't safe for him to keep working. But he lives 5 seconds up the street with a good friend of mine and his best friend, Dawson. And back at my house, here's Bumblebee playing in the backyard with his ball. It rained, so it was nice and muddy for everyone to go run around through the mud. Here are some cute little Halloween cookies. One is purple, one is orange. It says Positively Spooky and Yappy Halloween. I got them for Zayla and Bumblebee as Ezio went out mushroom picking with my dad, so I thought I'd treat these two. I took my 3 dogs out to the forest for a run this weekend because we had to go to the city for a while to go to a baby shower, which was lots of fun. Here's all 3 of my dogs in the forest, running in the creek bed. Zayla's barking, running through the creek bed, jumping over the log. Bumblebee follows her, dragging a tree limb, jumping over the log as well. Ezio's running around, looking around. I usually don't bring Zayla because she has arthritis. She's 11 years old, but I had her pain meds ready when we got home. She was having a blast, chasing the boys in the forest. Here they are, running around in the forest, doing zoomies, having a great time. We continue down the trail here, passing trees that have really long leafless limbs with thick green moss on them. The boys are running up ahead, Zayla's following. Then she turns around to come back to me. There's orange leaves on the ground. Ezio's walking ahead, Zayla's following the boys. I'm turning to look at the beautiful trees that are next to us. Long, long limbs, beautiful moss covering them, nice green, lush moss. Very pretty. So I'm going to apologize to the visually impaired because I didn't do a really good job of describing what my dogs look like. So my two pet dogs, Zayla and Ezio, one is a Husky Malamute mix. Zayla looks like a Siberian Husky, but she's a little bigger than a Siberian Husky. She's about the size of a female Malamute. She is red and white coloring. She's got a dyed tail right now for Halloween. It is orange at the base of her tail, purple in the middle, and black on the tip. And then Ezio is my German Shepherd dog. He's the largest dog I've ever owned, including my past Rottweilers. He is all black. He's got no tan on him. He is a very big boy. He's got really big pointy ears. And then last is my assistant's dog, Bumblebee. He is a golden retriever. He's got kind of like a medium gold coloring. He's got a little bit of reddish coloring to him. He's got long feathering on his legs, and he's got a fluffy tail. He's just a fun, floppy-eared puppy. He's so fun. Dogs are running around down the trail here. Zayla's sniffing around in the bush. Ezio's trotting around. Bumblebee's carrying around this tree branch he found. I don't know why he found the biggest stick, and he's like, I got it. He's parading it around. Ezio's running through the creek, going over a log here. And Bumblebee's in the water, playing with his tree branch, thrashing it around, trying to move it. He's being really, really silly. He's getting a little frustrated because he can't move it. So he's throwing it around, and now he's gonna drag it around through the creek here, and he's just having fun. I'm showing some B-roll of the forest we're in with the big tall trees, very pretty with their pine needles, and the green moss over this rock here, and the ferns that are green, and there's some green moss on the tree trunks of the maple trees. They're very lovely. After the forest, I made it to the baby shower in the city. Very lovely property. Bumblebee stayed behind. I left him at home because it would just be easier for me to enjoy the party. And there was a pond there, so if I did let him off, he would be in the water, getting everybody wet. Here's one of the hostesses at the party here at the baby shower. Little Xena here, a Doberman Pinscher, my future breed. She's such a sweetheart. Here's my family members throwing some plastic axes at a target. And here I am petting Xena. She's a red and rust-colored Doberman Pinscher. She's a very sweet girl. We also got to play with some barn kittens at the farm here where the baby shower was taking place. There's a cute little black kitten in the front with yellowish green eyes, and in the back there's a kind of brownish gray cat with white on it and black. Very cute, white whiskers, very sweet. The baby shower was great. It was so much fun. I'm wishing the mother to have a very safe birth in the next couple months here. It was really fun being with my family. It was such an enjoyable time. And here's the end of the vlog here. It was really fun making it. I hope it was good and accessible for everyone. Please let me know if I could do more to make it more accessible for you. You can find us on different platforms. I am only on Instagram at this moment under Working Superbee. You can find us there. I post daily. So thank you for joining us on this very first vlog, and hope to see you next time on our fun adventures.